welcome back. My name is Jeffy and this is my best friend, Android the Chihuahua. Today we're going to be sharing with you guys a really cool project that I've been excited to start all day long. I kind of had a little bit of an idea of what I wanted to do for this soap, and I decided that we'd be topping it off with some Holo glitter powder, and this reminded me a little bit of the HoloTaco nail polish line. So I went to the website for the HoloTaco nail polish, and one of their ads blew my mind how close it was to my original idea. It was rainbow from one side to the other, but each of the drops of rainbow had sparkle in them. And my original idea was to get some really cool rainbow droppings, hopefully next to each other in the same bar. So we are going to now add some Holo glitter to each of those colors in hopes that we can resemble the HoloTaco nail polish when this project is done. I'm also, for the first time ever, going to be trying piping on the top of our soaps. So I picked some stuff up at Michael's, and these were super cheap. I got this bag of 12 squeezy bags for only $5, and each of these little pieces was only $1. This is just a tip to give us different shapes, and then this is a little piece you need to connect it to the bags. I was also able to get these squeezy bottles, 2 for $2.50, and we're going to be using this to put the color inside of our bars, so these were a really good find. Also, since we're looking at things, this is the Holo glitter up close, and I'm sure you guys can see it's absolutely mesmerizing. I'm so in love with this, and I'm really excited to see our final bar. I've also gotten out 6 colors of the rainbow for us to use, and a couple of tools we're going to be needing. I just have some little containers here for us to mix our mica powders in, and one of these little dusters that you can get at Brambleberry for like $3, and this is going to help us put our glitter on at the end. And I also have this activated charcoal. This is going to give us a really nice black look around all of our colors. So to begin this project, we're going to need to prep our colors. So in total, I'm preparing 4 pounds of soap, and each of our colors is going to be done with 1 scoop here, and this scoop is 1/4 of a cup. Since we want to have about 2 teaspoons of colorant per pound of soap, that means we're going to end up needing for each of these little jars 1/4 teaspoon, and that will match up with our 1/4 cup right here. I'm going to use heaping scoops here just because I want our colors to be really bright. Alright, so once we have our rainbow colors prepped, we're just going to need to do our activated charcoal. We're going to end up with 3 1/4 pounds of soap left to color black. We're going to end up needing about 6 1/2 teaspoons of activated charcoal, and because of that, I got us a pretty big container for this one. That was quite a bit of activated charcoal, but I think we're ready now to add in a little bit of oil. I've added about 1 teaspoon of oil to each of our colors, and then I've added about 4 or 5 teaspoons of oil to this black container, and now I'm just going to take my little stirry stick and give them a good spin. So all of our colors are mixed, and that black seriously looks ridiculous. It looks like black tar. I'm just going to be taking a 1/4 cup measurer, and I'll be scooping 1/4 cup of our soap into one of these little disposable cups, and then I'll add a little bit of color, give it a quick mix, and then pour it evenly into these 2 bottles. I want to have a rainbow starting with the red at the bottom, going all the way up to the top. We'll have the purple. I have my oils and my lye water about 10 degrees apart from each other, so I'm ready to mix them together. Alright, all of our stuff is mixed together, and we're ready to put a 1/4 cup into each of these cups. Alright, I guess I'm going to do my purple color first and try and get as much mica powder out of this little thing as we can. Now I'm actually not going to be adding any fragrance oil to our little colors. I'm only going to be adding the fragrance oil to the black, and that's because I just really don't want these to set up on us too quick, and I think that waiting till we do the black to add scent oil will give us a little more of a fighting chance. I also think that because we're not using anywhere near as much color as we are black, it will be totally fine scent-wise. The entire bar should still smell really nice. I think it'd be best if we mix all these colors and then put them in the bottle, because it'll give the soap a second to solidify just a little bit. That way our colors don't just really mix together when we pour them all into the bottles. One last thing is to throw a little bit of this holographic powder into each of these colors. I don't know how well it's really going to show up in our final product, but I'm willing to risk wasting a little bit of glitter in the off chance that it'll give a cool look at the end. And this eco glitter honestly is pretty freaking pricey. I get it at Brambleberry. You can find it anywhere. You could find it on Amazon. But it just looks so cool, and you know, if you're doing body products, obviously you can't use like craft glitter, so I mean, if we're gonna have to pay a bunch for something, at least it's this freaking cool powder. Alright, so time to just keep pouring these into our containers. Oh. These bottles look so cool. I'm really excited to get to use them. Next we have the rest of our soap, and I can already see it's starting to get a little bit thicker. For our scent this time, I'm going to be using Hansel and Gretel's House. It's my absolute favorite scent. It's technically a Christmas scent, but it just smells like sweet cookies. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of vanilla color stabilizer just because I am guessing this has vanilla in it. I'm also going to be adding in our black color. Alright, time to give this a good stir. And I actually have two molds for us here today because I don't have any long molds that are wide like this, and I wanted us to be able to do as many rows back and forth as we can with our little squeezer bottles. Oh good. Did you guys see all that rainbow in there? This is the sparkle. This is going to turn out exactly like we wanted it to. Alright, so I guess I'll start with this one first. So I want to fill my mold about 2/3 to the top with our black soap. Alright, that's about it. Next I'm going to take my bottle and upside down, I'm just going to start spraying down into the color. The nozzle is partially in there, and I'm going to lift it out to take a breath, that way some air can go up, and then I'm just going to go back in and finish this out. Alright, I guess that's the end of bottle number 1. I wish these were staying to the side a little bit better. That sucks. I need to get some clips. Alright, next up we have this one, which should come out a lot better looking. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill it almost all the way to the top, but leave a bit of room for our colors. See if you guys can see this one a little bit better. Just going to put the tip in and really give it a good squeeze all the way back and forth. So that looks a lot different than I intended. Alright, I'm just going to let everything set a little bit so it gets a little bit thicker. Then I'll be able to do the piping. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to have to prep out is our little duster as well as our sprinkles. And I'm also going to need to prep our little squeeze bag, and this is really cool. You just put it together with the 2 plastic pieces, and then I'll fill this with our icing soap and we'll be ready to start piping. Alright, so now I'm ready to start piping on the top of this. That looks really good to me. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of our glitter powder to our little duster. And I want this really well coated. Any extra will fall off later. All right, looks like we're on to our next bar. So that's my first layer of piping. On this one, I think I'm going to add an extra layer of interesting, and I'm just going to put a little bit of our glitter right here. And I'm not going to go crazy like we're doing at the top. I just want a really nice thin layer so that when we cut these bars, you can see it a little. Alright, so this is the piping that I've done. I'm going to add one more layer of sprinkles. I just wanted to show you guys close up. It's a little bit hard for me to show you guys while I'm piping. One more layer of sprinkles and we'll be done. Alright, it looks like Christmas trees. It is so ridiculously sparkly. I'm really excited for this. It did turn out exactly like I wanted, at least so far, but the piping was a lot harder than I expected, so I definitely need some more practice on that. So this is our final bar. I'm really excited about our holographic top. That looks so beautiful and sparkly. I'm really excited for us to cut this and see what the inside looks like. So I'm just going to slowly press down on my soap cutter. I just pulled off the end piece and I'm immediately in love with the colors that we have on this. I'm going to go ahead and pull these all out next to each other so that we can see the array of color from one side to the other. These bars turned out very differently than I expected them to, but overall I'm really satisfied with what ended up happening. It looks a lot like a drop swirl, but you guys can see there's just a lot more color in each spot. It's very rainbowy and I really, really love this. These two bars here on the end are probably my favorite. They give you the best view of all the different colors. The only thing I find a little bit disappointing about these bars is that you can't really see any of the sparkle that we put into the colors on the inside. I'm extremely happy with how high we were able to get the icing piped. These look really cool from up top and all angles. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you want to purchase one of these, they'll be available on my website in about a month when they're done curing. I really appreciate you guys joining me for this video. Please consider hitting that like button and subscribing so I can see you again. Bye.